Hello and welcome. Tonight's video is what is cold and comes in cans. Find the surface area of each figure. Cross out the box containing each correct answer. When you finish, write the letters from the remaining boxes in the spaces at the bottom of the page. Show your work on a separate sheet. So I have a separate sheet here, and I'm going to show the work. Down here, we're going to cross out our correct answers, and the letters that are left over, we're going to write one letter in each box. This is called a self-check worksheet, because you know if you get some crazy word down here that you did something wrong. So we are going to work on surface area, and we have 3 rectangular prisms, 3 pyramids, and 3 triangular prisms. So let's begin. First, I'm going to write, actually I will use text, and we are going to write the formula for surface area of a rectangular prism. So let's put this first. Rectangular prism. Okay, and we're going to move this over a little bit here. There we go. And I'm going to write the surface area for it. The surface area of a rectangular prism is 2 times the length times the width plus 2 times the width times the height plus 2 times the length times the height. Okay, so for our rectangular prism, we have this formula. And we're going to apply it to number 1, 2, and 3, because those are all rectangular prisms. Let's get started. Alright, for number 1, we have our length is 6, our width is 4, and our height is 5. Alright, so let's come over here. So number 1, and we'll figure out our surface area. Again, I will set up the problem for you, but you're going to have to do the work, like the math part, on your own. So surface area equals, and it really is a plug and chug, 2 times my length, which is 6, times my width, which is 4. See, all I'm doing is plugging and chugging. Plus 2 times my width, which is 4, plus my height, which is 5. Oh, wait. This walker messed up. Can you tell it's late? It's not plus yet. When they're right beside each other, that means times. Come on, get your act together here. Alright, so we're going to times, so 2 times my width, which is 4, and my height is 5, so times 5. Now we can add our last, which is the length and the height. So we have 6 and 5. And if you're taking the time to watch these videos, I do appreciate it because I take time to make them. But I also wanted to point out one important fact. It honestly does not matter when you're dealing with rectangular prisms what you make the length and width and height. So if over here, if I had made the 6 the width and the length the 4, or even the 5 something else, it's okay because you multiply everything together anyway. So don't stress if you're like, well, I don't know the length. It's okay. Now, we get down to things like pyramids and triangular prisms. Yeah, that gets a little like, this is what you have to mark. But for rectangular prisms, you use all the sides, so it's okay. Alright, back to the math. You're going to multiply 2 times 6 times 4, plus, and we're going to multiply 2 times 4 times 5, plus 2 times 6 times 5. And when you get the answer for these 3 pieces, you're going to add them together, and that's your final surface area answer. Alright? And since, what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with centimeters. This is going to be centimeters squared. Remember, if we're looking for area, it's squared. Volume is going to be cubed. But this whole sheet is surface area, so we don't have to worry about going back and forth. Alright, let's change our color and do number 2. We're going to make our length 7, our width 7, and our height is going to be 11. Alright, so we'll come over here and we'll do number 2. And we'll start off. Surface area equals 2 times the length, which is 7, times the width, which, make sure you know that's a times, not a minus, though it's a little messed up. Times the width, which is also 7. See? It's really important after we figure out our shape and we figure out what formula we need that we label everything first. So you see, the first thing I did, I knew it was a rectangular prism, I knew the formula for surface area, then I went and I labeled everything because that makes the plug and chug a lot easier. So we're going to multiply our width and our height by 2, so now we have 11 for our height. And then finally the last piece is 2 times our length, which is 7, times our height. So you multiply everything together anyway, all 3 pieces. So we have 2 times 7 plus 2 times 7 times 11 plus 2 times 7 times 11 again. And that's because both our length and our width are 7. Again, find the answers to the multiplying first, order of ops. You add those 3 together, and you have your surface area. And in this case, we're dealing with inches, so our answer is going to be inches squared. Alright, last one for these guys. Number 3, I am going to make my length 4, my width 5, I'm sorry, let me try that again. Phew. My length is 1.4 meters, my width is going to be 2.5 meters, and my height is going to be 2 meters. Okay, so let's do number 3 right here. And again, we have surface area equals 2 times my length, which is 1.4, times my width, which up here is 2.5. Okay, now again, you know, length times width, that's going to give me top and bottom, plus 2. And remember, that first 2 happens every time with surface area. Now we have our width and our height, so we're going to do 2 times 2.5 times 2.0. And I hope you guys know that 2 and 2.0, same thing. And then we're going to multiply the last piece, 2 times my length, which is 1.4, times my height, which is 2.0, or just 2. You take these 3 numbers, multiply them together. Then you take these 3 numbers and multiply those together. And then you take the last batch, multiply those, and then you add up your 3 answers. That will give you your final total, and that's surface area. And in this case, we are dealing with meters. That's what M stands for, is meters. So we're going to have meters squared. Okie dokie. So that's your first 3. pause the video, make sure you have all this written down on your separate piece of paper, and then have the answers. Remember, you're to cross them out on the back. So let me show you here. If you come down here, whatever your answers are, you cross them out. So we're crossing out the correct answers. I am going to clear the screen so that we can do 4, 5, and 6. Okay? So let's see here. Clear the screen. Alright. So we have 4, 5, and 6. Now, I am going to pull up the formula for surface area. Okay, so here is our formula sheet. You will get this on the test, you will get this for practice, you will get this on the SOL. So it's really helpful to know this sheet really well. They give you a lot of information. So we're going to come down here, and as you can see, here's our pyramid, right? And so that's what we're working with next. We have 3 pyramids. So our pyramid is right here, and we want the surface area formula. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to write down, this is going to be our pyramid, and I'm going to write down the surface area formula. So we have 1/2 times our L. I'm going to make it a capital L just because I can't make it cursive. Times our perimeter plus our capital B. Remember, capital B stands for the area of the base. And if you get that, look right here. See capital B down here? That means area of the base. It means we got to find the area of the square. The cursive L is, remember, the slant length. So it is the length of the triangle here. And the height, the one in the middle, we don't need that unless we're finding volume. So we want the slant length, and then we need the perimeter, which we know is just adding up all 4 sides. And we're going to add that to the area of the base, which is multiplying. Alright, so let's look and see how we do this. Oh, we got to go back to this. Alright, here we go. Okay, so we're doing number 4 now. So we have number 4, and we're talking surface area. So we're going to start off with our 1/2, because that's always given. And we're going to multiply that to our length. And now look, see how it's the slant length right here? Let me get a line so you guys can see it better. See this right here? This is our slant length. That's what we want. Sometimes they're going to give you the vertical, and you only use the vertical height here if you're looking for volume. For surface area, you always want the slant piece, so the 10. So the 10 is going to be our cursive L. Ooh, that's interesting. And then you see here, these 2 numbers, because it's a square, so these are going to be our length and width that we need just to be able to find the area of the base and to be able to find the perimeter. So come back over here. Our slant length is 10. And then over here in a different color, let's use orange. Perimeter. So remember here, I'm going to do this down here. Perimeter is the sum of all the sides, right? So you want perimeter of the square. So you want 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8. We have 4 sides on a square. They're all the same. Now, could you do 4 times 8? Sure, you absolutely can do that as well. So I'm going to do this math for you because it'll make it easier for this part. 8 plus 8 is 16, plus another 8 is, what is that, 24, plus another 8 is 32. So that's our P right here, is going to be let me go back to my red, is going to be 32. Alright, so what I'm doing right here with half times 10 times 32, that's finding the area of all the triangles. Remember, surface area is the sum of all the surfaces. So this first part right here is finding the area of all the triangles. Could you do that separately? Sure. You could say 8, area of a triangle is half the base times the height. So you could say 1/2 times 10 times 8, and then multiply that by 4. That would work. We're just doing it according to the formula. And then plus, we have our big B, which is area of the base. So again, I'm going to change it to orange. And to find the base, to find the area of the base, that's length times width, right? So we're going to have 8 times 8, which is going to give me 64. Alright, so I come back over here, and for my big B, I'm going to put 64. Oops, let me get rid of that, guys. Hang on. There we go. Alright, so to find the answer, you're going to multiply those 3 and get your answer, and then you're going to add it to the 64. And that will give you your final answer. So make sure when you say 1 divided by 2 times 10 times 32, that guy goes right there. Then you add that to the 64. Do not put it all in and then hit equals. Make sure you do the multiplying first, hit equals here, and then add it to the 64. And that will give us our surface area of the prism, which in this case is inches. So we are going to have inches squared. Okay, and that's all there is for that one. Go on to number 5. Alright, so again, just to show you, our slant length is this guy right here. It's the one for the triangle. So it's going to be 40 is going to be my slant length. So that's that cursive L. And then we have our length and width of our square is down here, which in this case is going to be 30. So surface area is going to equal 1/2, and it's half because we're dealing with triangles, times our slant length, which is 40. And now we're going to add up the perimeter of our square so we can get all 4 triangles done. So 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 30, right? There's a 30 over here. That's how squares work. And there's a 30 back here. So we're going to add up all of our 30s. So I'm going to come over here, and since I'm doing blue, let's do sky blue. I hope it shows up. And I'm going to do it over here just so when I do my formula it's easier. And I'm going to do 30 plus 30. This takes a minute writing all this. Plus 30 plus 30. Now again, 4 times 30, a lot easier than adding it 4 times. But whatever floats your boat. So 30 plus 30 is 60, plus 30 is 90, plus another 30 gives us 120. So our perimeter is 120. Hopefully you know 4 times 30 is also 120. So let's go back over here, and we're going to put for our perimeter 120. Again, this first part finds the area of all 4 triangles. And we're going to add it to to the area of the base. Just remember, it's the area of all the surfaces. So to find the area of a square, we just say 30 times 30. Come over here, and to find my big B is length times width, which in this case is 30 times 30. And that's going to give me 900. A shortcut to multiplying, if they have zeros at the end, you can just multiply the numbers in front and add the zeros. So 3 times 3 is 9, 0 times 0, or you just put the zeros in the back. Just in case you're wondering how I did that in my head. So the area of this base is 900. Okay? So you do 1 divided by 2 times 40 times 20, or 120, excuse me, and then you hit equals and you write that answer down. Then you take that answer and you add it to 900. And you write that down. And that is your surface area of the pyramid. If you get an answer, I know that looks like a 5, but you guys know I mean surface area. And these are millimeters. And now if you get an answer that's not located at the bottom, then you know maybe you just hit a button wrong or you used the wrong number. So your answer should be down here. Alright, last one. Number 6. Last one of the pyramids anyway. Alright, so we are going to, let's go to green here. Here's our slant height for this guy. Okay, so this is our, let's go back to over here. This is our length, our slant length, and then the 6.4 is going to be our length and our width of the square. You won't have anything but square pyramids to deal with this year. Now, when you get to geometry next, or in 10th grade, I guess, when you get to geometry, could you have different types of pyramids? Absolutely. But then you would have the formulas for those types. Square pyramids are all we're dealing with in 8th grade. So, we have surface area, and it's a triangle, so we need our 1/2, times our length, our slant length. So make sure you don't use the 6.4, right? You want the slant length. So it's 8.2 because we're working with the triangles right now. So we have 8.2. And because we got some decimals going on here, I am going to pull out the calculator. Times, and now we need to find the perimeter of our square down here. We need to find the perimeter. Because remember, you do have, hang on, let me go back to green. You do have 6.4 here. It'll come up, there we are. And you have it over here too, 6.4. So you have 6.4 on all sides. These are all squares. So I'm going to come over here and we'll choose yellow green. And I'm going to do, that is kind of light. I hope you guys can see that okay. We're going to do 8.2 plus 8.2 plus another 8.2. And again, like in all of these videos, if you get this by now, like this is the third one, so if you understand how to do this, you can fast forward and just check your answers, or just check your setup with mine to see if you got the right number at the end. Alright, so let me get my cursor, and I'm going to pull up my calculator and figure out what all these numbers are added together. Put it over here. So I said 8.2 plus 8.2 plus 8.2 plus one more 8.2 equals 32.8. Come up here, get my green, get my yellow green, and we're going to put 32.8 32.8. That is my perimeter. That's going all the way around the square. Now, I do want to show you guys, just so you understand, multiplying is just repeated addition, right? So since I have 4 8.2s, just to show you, I could simply say 4 times 8.2, and I get the exact same answer. See that 32.8 is exactly what I got by multiplying. So that's just one little shortcut, if you understand it, that you can do instead of having to add it up 4 times. If this right here makes more sense, please use that. It's okay. There is no shame. I will not judge. Alright, let's go back and get our regular green. And for perimeter, we found that it is 32.8. So we are going to multiply 32.8 to our slant height times half. Finally, we need to add our area of our base. So we need to figure out the area of this base, because that's the last surface area we need to add to make sure we get it all. So we have our capital B, and we are going to say 6.4, because that's our length, times 6.4, because that's our width. And I'm going to bring out my handy dandy calculator again. We'll get that answer. So we have 6.4 times 6.4 equals 40.96. So before I forget it, you guys know my memory skills. We're going to come over here and write down 40.96. Okay, alright, let's get rid of our calculator, and we're going to come over here and write 40.96. Okay, so you multiply those, so you say 1 divided by 2 times 8.2 times 32.8, and you put that in the calculator, hit your equals, and you get that answer. Write that down. Then we're going to add that answer to our 40.96, and once we hit equals here, we will have our final answer. And you guys have successfully, hopefully, made it through 3 surface area problems with pyramids, which is not too shabby. So we have centimeters squared. Okie dokie. Alright, pause the video, make sure you have everything written down. Make sure your answers are being found at the bottom. If they're not and you don't know where you went wrong, that's when you raise your hand and ask a teacher. Alright, if you can't find it down here, your paper looks like this. You did all your numbers correctly. Try it twice. If you still can't find it, then raise your hand. Alright, I'm going to clear out this screen. So go ahead and pause if you need to. And then we'll get to work on our triangular prisms. Okay, so here we go. We're working with 7, 8, and 9, and these are all triangular prisms. You guys see the difference between the pyramid, which comes to a point, and the triangular prisms, which have rectangles all the way around them. So there's no one point, there's multiple, what they call vertices, multiple points. Alright, I'm going to go to our formula sheet again. And here, the last row, see we have 3 rows, the last row is, the very first one is our triangular prism. And it looks a lot like the pictures we're dealing with. So I'm going to type in, let's see, we are dealing with triangular, and I'm not going to write the whole thing out, prisms, triangular prisms, and we have the surface area formula. And that's this guy at the bottom. Surface area on all of our 3D shapes are at the bottom. So surface area is HP plus 2B. Now the H stands for the height, and that's the height of the prism, not the height of the triangle. Be very careful with that. The height of the prism. And we're going to multiply that times our perimeter, okay, to go all the way around. And by doing that, we will find the area of each of our rectangles. Because remember, area of a rectangle is just length times width. Well, in this case, our length is going to be the height, and the width is going to be each side of your triangle. And then we're going to add that to 2 times capital B, 2 times the area of the base. So that means we are going to have to find area of a triangle. Now, if you've forgotten how to do that, you can go up here. Oh, I need my cursor in. Here we go. You can go up here. Here's the area of a triangle. Don't use the Pythagorean theorem. Okay, that's if you don't know one of the sides. We're going to know all the sides, so we use this bad boy up here. And it says A equals. There's your area. It's telling you right there. So, real quick, I'm just going to write that down over here so we don't forget. Area equals 1/2 times the base times the height. Okay, this is, you know what I can do is this. Okay, do you guys get that? Does that make sense to you? A little colon or something. So what this, oops, oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Oh, okay, bear with me, because I don't want to have to do the whole video again. Alright, so what I meant to do, let's put it up here, do it real quick. What I wanted to show you was that big B is actually area of a triangle. Okay, so let me move this. That's what I wanted to do. There it is. Okay. So this big B stands for the area of the triangle. Let's go back to our worksheet. Oh wait, no, I need this guy. Let's go back to our worksheet and do 7, 8, and 9. You guys are awesome for watching these, I'm going to tell you. Alright, let's start with number 7. And we're going to look, again, we're just doing surface area on this worksheet. So, we have a bunch of numbers here, 7, a 9, a 10, and a 5. The 10 is going to be the height of the entire prism. Do you see that? So this is the H for the entire prism. We know that this is 7, so we're going to need this for our perimeter. Oh, we have a 12 down here too, don't forget that. See this 12 right here? That can also be put right here, because the triangles are congruent, meaning they're the same. And we need to know all 3 pieces, because these 3 pieces are going to do our perimeter, which we need. And then the last piece that we need to know before we can do our formula is this guy right here. You see this? This is the height of the triangle. So I'm going to make this orange, because I don't want to confuse you with the height of the whole thing. This is the height of just the triangle. So, a little bit more complicated, but nothing we can't do. Let's go back to our formula. The first thing we need is the height of the entire prism. That's this guy. That's the height of the entire prism right here. So we're going to say 10 times. Now we need P. P stands for perimeter. And again, that's on your formula sheet. And perimeter is adding up all the sides of the triangle. Now we had to be careful, because see, this 12 was down here at the bottom, and that could have been missed very easily. So I rewrote it up here. You guys can do the same thing. That way I can see, oh, there are my 3 sides. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to do perimeter equals, and then I'm going to add up my 3 sides. 7 plus 9 plus 12. Alright, 7 plus 9 is 16, and 16 plus 12 is 28. Okay? So my perimeter is 28 all the way around the triangle. So those two things get multiplied together, and that gives you all three rectangles, the area of all three rectangles, right? You have this guy, you have this one over here, and then you have the one in the middle. So really what we're saying is 7 times 10, 9 times 10, and then this front guy right here is 12 times 10. We just simplified version. Now we're going to add that to the area of the two bases. So I have two triangles that I need to find the area for. Again, to find the area of a triangle, it's half the base times the height. So for my big B, I have to say 1/2 times my base, and the base of your triangle, again, is the 12, right? It's this right here. Is it pretty straight line? So this is the base of both triangles, and then they're telling you that the height is 5. So we're going to say times 12 times 5, and you put this in your calculator, and you say 1 divided by 2 times 12 times 5. Now, I'm going to do it in my head because I know that half of 12 is 6, and 6 times 5 is 30. Okay, so when I come over to my formula, because I have two bases that are 30, I have this 2 right here. So 2 times 30. You multiply each one separately, just like we did when we were doing the others. And then you add those two pieces. So again, 10 times 28 are all of your rectangles. 2 times 30 is your triangles. So those are all the pieces of the prism, the triangular prism. And that's your surface area. And in this case it's meters, so it's going to be meters squared. Alright, let's go to blue, and we'll do number 8. Now number 8, let's look and see what we have. Again, this line right here, see this guy? That is the height of the entire prism. So this is going to be the H that we need for the entire prism. We have, now it's a right angle. You see that? So if they, right here, if they give you the right angle, we know that this is the height of the triangle. So this is what we're going to use for our height. So I'm going to make this in sky blue. This is our height of our triangle. Okay, we need that to be able to find the area of the base. It's also going to be one of our sides for perimeter. So here's our 5.2. That's what this is down here, 5.2. Okay, so we have our 2.6, our 5.2, and our 3.9. Those are the three numbers that we use for our perimeter. The 4.3 is the height, and then the 2.6 is going to be the height of the triangle. So we have everything labeled that we need. Let's go ahead and start. Our surface area equals the height, 4.3, times the perimeter. So we're going to have to add up the three sides of the triangle. And that is, so we have our 2.6, 5.2, 3.9. So we're going to add those together. 2.6, 5.2, plus our 3.9. And I am going to grab the calculator for this. Oh, 5.6 plus 5.2 plus 3.9. 11.7. Okay? And that is our perimeter. Okay? So we need that for what we're going to multiply to the height. Again, what we're doing is a shortcut method. By using the formula, we're doing a shortcut method to find the area of all the rectangles. Okay? Alright, now that we've found that, we need to go ahead and add it to our bases. We have two bases. So, to find the area of the base, we have to do, put it over here, 1/2 times our base, okay, times our height. So the base of the triangle, sorry, brain stopped working, is this 3.9. This is our base. Okay? Remember Pythagorean theorem, you have two sides in the hypotenuse. This is our base. And then this is our height. So we're going to say times 3.9 times 2.6. I'm going to use my calculator for this as well. Alright, you're not going to use, you don't use your hypotenuse. You don't use this guy over here for the base of a triangle. Here, in number 7, we knew it was that because that's what came down to make the right angle. Since we're given the right angle, we know that this is our height and this is our base. Alright, so we multiply all this. Again, 1 divided by 2 times 3.9 times 2.6. And we get 5.07. So the area of our triangle is 5.07. Alright, put my calculator away. So that number is going to go right here, where my big B is in my formula, 5.07. And that 2 is because I have two triangles. So then we're going to say 4.3 times 11.7. It equals, write that number down. Then 2 times 5.07, write that number down. And then you add those two together, and you get the surface area of the whole triangular prism, which is centimeters squared. Okay? Alright, last one. You guys are doing awesome. And we'll go with our green. Number 9. Okay, so to find surface area, I hope by now you understand the pieces we need. We need the height. Now look at this triangular prism because it's different than 7 and 8. This one is laying down. Do you guys see that? So this right here is the height. This is the same as this. So this is actually our height of the entire prism. Alright? Now if you notice, we have a 4 for this line, a 4 for this line, and a 4 for our base. So this is actually an equilateral triangular prism. So we have 4, we need this 4, we need this 4, and I'm going to write a 4 right here because these guys are congruent. So I'm given this 4, and I know it's here. Now the height of the triangle, which I need to find the area for the base, this guy right here, see how it gives us the right angle? That's how you can always find what's your height and your base for the last part of our formula. So this right here is going to be the height of just the triangle piece. So we have everything labeled. We've got the height of the the height of the prism. We've got all 3 sides of the triangle for our perimeter. And we've got the height and the base for the area of the triangle. Let's get to the formula. All right, number 9. Surface area equals the height of the prism. That's this H is the height of the prism, not the triangle. 5.5 times the perimeter. So this is where we're going to add up the 3 pieces. Okay, we're going to add the 4 plus 4 plus 4 because that's the perimeter of the triangle. Whew. Alright, equals, and since it's equilateral, you could just say 4 times 3, and I'd be okay with that too. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 4 more is 12. So the height of, the perimeter of my triangle is 12. So the height of the prism is 5.5, the perimeter is 12. So those two go together to figure out all the side pieces. For the base, we have 2 bases, so that's where our 2 comes from. And to do the base, we need to find the area of the triangle. So the area of the triangle is 1/2 times the base of just the triangle. So that's this 4 times the height of the triangle. Not the whole prism, just this triangle piece. So that's going to be our 3.5 right here. Now there is a decimal, so you know I'm grabbing that calculator one last time. Alright, so grab our calculator. Okay, put it down here. And we have 1 divided by 2 times 4 times 3, I have to move this a little bit, 0.5 equals 7. Oh, well, that was nice. I'm going to try it one more time because that was just a little too neat. 1 divided by 2 times 4 times 3.5 equals 7. Mom must have done it right. Awesome sauce. So we come over here and we get our 7. And that is the area of the triangle. The area of the triangle is 7. I have 2 of them, so I'm going to say 2 times 7. So we multiply 5.5 times 12 to get the area of the 3 rectangles, and then we multiply 2 times 7 to get the area of both my bases. We add those together and we have the surface area of the entire prism. And you guys have made it through all 9 problems. Alright, and this is going to be inches squared. Again, if you wind up with answers that are not at the bottom, raise your hand. Double check your work like I did. I wasn't quite sure that the area should be 7 because that was, I had a decimal in there, so I was thinking, well, maybe. Always double check your work. It doesn't take but just a second to put those numbers back in and make sure you got it right. So double check your work, but if you're still not getting what you need, raise your hand and we'll come over and help. Alright, thanks guys for watching and listening, and good luck.